what meaning are you giving to the things you're doing for your health and fitness? Meaning and language, and particularly what we say and what comes up for us in terms of the thoughts that we have such an impact on what we ultimately do, the actions we actually take, the decisions we make. So when I'm talking about what I mean is when you think of the words or the actions that you're taking to improve your own health and fitness, to become fitter, healthier, and happier, what are you making those words mean? An example, what do you make the word exercise mean to you? Do you take it as a word that means to you that it's hard, that it's a chore, that you have to do it, that it has to involve sweat, that it has to involve a gym, that your heart rate has to be sky high, that you have to vomit? Like, what meaning are you giving that specific word exercise? Because that is going to have a direct effect on how you think about it, and therefore how you feel it's going to work or not, and also how you do it. Okay, so with exercise, if you see it and you make it mean that exercise is a chore and you have to do it, there's already resistance from the start before you've even done it. You see it as something that you have to do. Okay, whereas if you make the word exercise in your head, if you give exercise a more supportive meaning in your head, in terms of it's something that you get to do, it's something that makes you feel better, you see exercise as something that means doing it with other people, or it's a way to give you that mental clarity, whatever it is. If you give it a positive spin as to what you make that word mean to you, or maybe you have to find another word that means the same thing but has a more kind of uplifting, supportive effect on the way you think about it, that in turn is going to have an impact on how you treat it. So if you treat exercise as something you get to do, you look forward to it, your body language is different, you get excited about it, you want to do it, as opposed to seeing exercise as something as a chore, and that is something that you have to fit in, that is something that is going to be painful, that is something that is going to be uncomfortable. Like, even just talking about it like that is changing both my tone in terms of how I talk about it, but also how I conjure it up in my head, and therefore how I see it. So for me personally, like, the three key words are being fitter, healthier, and happier. So again, it comes down to, what does it mean? Like, what meanings are you giving to all these words that are associated with you improving your health and fitness? Like, check back in with yourself. Maybe even go as far as like writing down what's in your head in terms of as a journaling exercise, to pick out all the words that you associate with improving your own health and fitness, and write down all the words that you associate, or all the meanings you're giving to these words in your head, and you will see in black and white whether you're making them mean something potentially positive and supportive and motivational, or are they meanings that you're giving to them that add weight, that make them feel more negative in your body, that make you decide in different ways than you would if they were positive. So what are you making it mean? That has such a massive impact on the things that you do, the results that you're going to get, and the way you feel. Because before we improve our health and fitness, a lot of people jump from, okay, I know I want to improve it, therefore I'm going to go straight to doing something. But by analyzing ourselves, by bringing awareness to our own meaning, what we're doing is we're adding an extra step from, okay, I'm here at the moment, that is where I want to be in terms of how I feel and look and inside and out kind of thing. And then in the middle, there's this little step that you take, but which I think is really important, and that is analyzing what you're making it mean. Like, is it something that you're seeing as ultimately positive, or is it something that you're seeing as negative? Because if it's positive, if it has positive connotations, if it has a positive spin on it in terms of the meanings you're currently giving it, then you have way more chance of actually sustaining the actions that you're going to take. Whereas if it's already negative, if the meanings you're giving those words that you associate with your health and fitness, if they're negative, they're going to drag you down, and they're going to ultimately make things a lot harder for you to sustain, because no one wants to do things they don't want to do in the long run. No one wants or can motivate themselves to do those things they don't necessarily get on with, or ultimately they don't think actually are going to give them the results that they want. So really check in with your own meanings that you're giving yourself in terms of all these words: fitness, health, happiness, exercise, mindset, mental game, nutrition, like all these things, diet, all these words. There's a whole host of vocabulary that you can dive into and just check in with yourself. Are most of them positive meanings that you're giving, or are they more negative meanings? Check in, and what you'll find is if in the majority they're positive, then you have a much bigger, higher chance of you sustaining the actions you're about to take than if you have negative connotations. In terms of another example, if you were to give the meaning of a negative aspect, if you were to give gyms a negative meaning, in terms of if you were to see gyms to be somewhere that is stale, somewhere that's really cliquey, somewhere that involves you like really having to work hard, somewhere that involves you having to motivate yourself, somewhere where you have to do a little bit of cardio and some weights every now and again, somewhere that you don't really look forward to going to, somewhere where you have to feel like you're being judged every time you step in because you feel other people's eyes on you, whatever it is. If you have all those kinds of feelings, and if you give those kind of meanings to the word gym, how much of a chance are you really giving yourself to even stick at the gym? Like, before you've even signed on the dotted line for that gym membership, how likely are you to actually keep it up if you're already giving it negative meaning? So you can either then swerve the thing or the word that you're giving negative meanings to, or you can change the meaning for yourself. So say the gym, instead of seeing it as somewhere negative, you could see it as somewhere where I get to get away from working from home. Maybe it's somewhere that you get to listen to the music you want to, because you can't do that at home. Maybe it's you get to push more weight than you can muster up at home because you don't have access to all the equipment. Maybe it's you get to watch some crap telly and listen to some banging tunes, whatever it is. Like, if you change the meaning in a way that supports you, that pushes you, that motivates you, you are going to find things so much easier. So what meaning are you giving to the things that you're doing for your own health and fitness?